Hi, so I want to talk to you about corner cabinets, blind corner cabinets, Super Susan cabinets, etc. So in this drawing, I've got one of each. This is a Super Susan cabinet. As we all know, they're 36 by 36. I want you to be really careful when you're grabbing them out of your local browser, because there's quite a few different ones. And some people will grab one, say this organizer, thinking that's what they had intentionally wanted, but in reality, that organizer cabinet is quite different and quite a different price. So open up your catalog. See, I'm here in the online catalog. If you're using a different cabinet line, use your PDF catalog. Look at all the options and make sure you're getting the right SKU and getting the right price. The most typical one we use is the Super Susan, which means it has independent wood trays or wood shelves here in between the wood trays. This is the most commonly used corner cabinet and the best use of a corner. Okay, so I grabbed not the organizer but the Super Susan, and then they have 33 and 36. The 33 is a really small opening. Don't use it unless you absolutely have to. 36 is the one I grabbed. Now, how do you know if you want it to open on the left or the right? You have to see if it's next to an appliance. You never want the hinge to be next to an appliance, because if you imagine opening this door this way, it's going to interfere with the face of that dishwasher, and those dishwasher handles stick out quite a ways. So you're going to end up with a cabinet door that's marred and dinged and doesn't open all the way. So you always want the hinge to be on the other side of an appliance. Occasionally I have these next to a range and it applies there too. It needs to open away from an appliance, always. Okay, those are pretty simple. Now to the tricky ones, the blind corner cabinets. Let's go back to our catalog. Base corners, blind corner cabinets. So I just want to start with a standard blind corner cabinet here. Now, the cabinet box itself, it's showing you this cool diagram. So this is the cabinet box itself. And they're going to give you a chart here. It says dimension range, actual cabinet width. So if I'm working with a 48-inch space, the actual cabinet width here is going to be 45. And they want you to pull the cabinet away from the wall. This is important because if you look here, the door and the hinge need space away from this door and this plane and all the hardware that's going to be on top of them in order to open properly. If you were to not put this void in, this door would not even open, and you'd be getting some angry calls from your installers and your homeowners. Okay, so this is also a great area that we can make up the difference in a wall. So back to our drawing. My wall is 143 and 3/16, which is an odd number. So I don't exactly have the range centered, but it's close enough to center that it's going to visually look centered, especially if I design the cabinets well around it. And what I've done, because this is a square cabinet and all of these dimensions are going to be tight together, I want to make up the random distance here. So I used a 45, so the actual cabinet box is 42, and then I pulled it, pull, so you can use that command to make up the distance. Now it's hard to see, but there is about 3/16 of an inch in between this base 12 and this blind corner. So I'm pulling it over there so that that 3/16 ends up back here in the void, and this is all perfectly in line and flush with no gaps. I will say, if you try to put a filler in between two cabinets like this, I will come to your house and slap you in the face, because we are good kitchen and bath designers, and those fillers are cheats. We always can find somewhere else to hide those random dimensions. Okay, so this space here, just like we needed to pull that cabinet away from the wall in order for the door to open properly, we need space between the adjacent cabinet as well. This is adjustable too, but if it's a blind corner, for instance, let's go back to our options here. If it's a blind corner with any kind of accessory that pulls out, you want to give it at least 3 inches. See all this jazz and stuff going on here? And here in the catalog, they even recommend 3 inches. Here's a great picture to show you this collision opportunity we have back here. So pay attention to those dimensions. So 3 inches. So you're going to want to use a filler. You can use a filler that's flush. I of course always like the molded fillers. Those are the ones shaped like an L. They're the easiest to use and the most cost effective. I'm going to use my placement compass thing here and just select this cabinet, select the filler I want, and show it which direction to go. There we go. Okay, so it seems like we're done. La-da-ti-da. But guess what? We're not. So if we go back to our blind corner, so I've used an L molding filler on this part, which means it's going to be flush with the door. But the actual base blind corner cabinet just has a panel here, and then the door sits in front of that. So then it's going to have a recessed corner there. So what we want to do in our drawing is you actually want to include a filler Plant-On Custom. This is from Belmont. Other cabinet lines, you could use a door face filler or just a panel, a custom panel. But this is a good one to use with Belmont. It's just the front part, the face part of a door face filler. And so this is going to apply to that box. I like to order these at least 6 inches wide and give the installers the ability to cut. So that piece is going to go right there next to the L molding, and then everything in this corner is going to be nice and flush and custom looking.